Welcome to episode 226 of the Muck Podcast. Listen in as we discuss the dark and sometimes weird true stories in American politics. I'm Tina Jaramillo.
And I'm Hillary Doherty.
Hillary!
Hi!
It's like a short week.
Yeah, isn't it weird?
It's a short week.
I gotta tell you, when it's a Friday before you have a Monday off, like Memorial Day, it feels like you've got a week.
It
like
does.
I literally was like, on Saturday I was like, ooh, I got 2 more days.
Yes.
It's so crazy.
It's the best feeling.
But then it was Memorial Day and I was like, oh God, tomorrow I have to go back to
Then
work.
you gotta go back. But you know that there's a big push of the 4-day work week. That is a thing lately.
So you work 10 hours a day instead of...
I don't know if it's 10 hours. I think...
Well, I'm not getting short paid, I'll tell you that much.
No. It's about being paid the same.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess they're recognizing that, especially with COVID and people being able to work from home and people being able to kind of streamline and get their work done when they get their work done kind of thing, that they can work a 4-day week and that it brings like a better work-life balance to people and that they're working like a normal day, but just 4 days, and that like that work can get done because people are like a little more productive. I think with technology and things like that, it's making people more productive.
I like it. I actually wouldn't mind working 10-hour days. If it was 4 10-hour days and I get a whole day off, I would do it.
Or if it was like 9 hours or something, something,
What would have to adjust is all of the other things in my life that I have to be at 6 or, you know what I mean, 6:30 or 5:30 or whatever. Like all that would have to stop, would have to change because I'm obviously working, unless you start earlier, 7.
Yeah, but I don't think it's about having longer days. I think they're just saying that the 4-day work week, and it could be a variety of things where I've seen somewhere it's like a Monday, Tuesday off, a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Others where you have the 3-day weekend.
Yeah, I don't mean to interrupt you, but how are we talking about this and not Trump?
No, we're about to get into it.
Like, I like to hear about this, but also, like, 34 motherfucking guilty counts.
34 counts.
That's a top. And also, like, I can't believe we didn't go live. There was so many moments where I was going to call you or text you and say, we should go live right now. Yes. But then I was like, I'm tired.
Yeah, well, I was thinking of that too, but I was like driving. I wasn't driving around, but maybe I was driving around. I don't know. I've been driving every Thursday.
For days. Yeah. Well, anyway, here we are. And it's unfortunate this is like the only case we'll see before the election, obviously, because this asshole judge here in Florida, who's a Trump appointed judge, is giving Jack Smith such a hard time about the start date of this trial, for the documents case, for all the things he had at the classified docs he had at Mar-a-Lago. And then you take the case in D.C., which is sitting at the Supreme Court right now. The Supreme Court is going to decide whether Donald Trump as president can be held accountable for his inciting an insurrection on January 6th.
I have a feeling
and two of the justices are involved in or supported January 6th insurrection. Yeah. Samuel Alito's wife flew another flag, the one at their beach house. Yeah. And this stone cold motherfucker sends a letter to Congress because there was members of Congress saying you need to step off of you have to recuse yourself
like
from
any
this
other
case.
judge would.
And
he
writes a letter about how he's not going to recuse himself because he allows his wife as a private citizen to have all the decisions she can. She's allowed to. He has no control over her decisions.
Except for abortion.
Yeah, and that's where and that letter really proved to me this. Samuel Alito and Clarence Thomas have wives that have their balls in a vice.
Yes.
And so those 2 men who are ballless at home have decided to punish all of the women in America for it.
Yeah. Nutless
I can't punish these fucking bitches, but I can punish you bitches. I can tell you bitches what to do. I can't control Ginny Thomas and Martha fucking Alito. These cunts. But I can control you fucking assholes. Right?
And you know that, first of all, I'm going to say I call, bullshit on that she decided to put that flag.
It's all bullshit.
It's the 2 of them together. He knows. He's walking in and out of that place. And he should know, if it is his wife, hey, I'm a SCOTUS, I'm on SCOTUS, right? Maybe we shouldn't have this flag flying. Or is he not? bright enough to.
He does.
He knows what this is
heard
about.
a podcast this week.
These guys have to leave.
Listen.
Not only recuse themselves, they need to step off of this bench.
Listen, I heard a podcast this week, and the lady said, she's a law professor at NYU. She said Samuel Alito is functioning in a IDGAF vibe. Yeah. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
He has no one holding him accountable. Now, we all learned in 3rd, 4th, 5th grade fucking social studies that we have 3 branches of government, and they're separated, and they all are in check to somebody else. The legislature, the Congress, is supposed to be holding the Supreme Court accountable for shit like this. They don't have free reign to do anything they want to do. But we have a legislature that has less balls than Alito and Thomas.
Well, and then you have people in there like Marjorie Taylor Greene who post an upside down flag. That alone, you should be out of Congress.
You know what?
You should be out of Congress.
I've had it. I fucking had it.
We live in a country that support these people.
You know what? You're all fucking traitors. Traitors. And not to mention, then these 34 counts come down, which, I love celebrating that. And I'm going to enjoy every moment of it until the next fucking punch in the face from Trump or whatever. But I'm telling you right, I'm going to just enjoy the moments of it because we're not going to see another guilty. If he gets elected in November, these go away. For 4 years, and then he'll be dead, and we'll be held accountable.
Well,
that's what's going to happen.
America will be dead. And
that's
this
true.
is the thing. I was talking to my husband, and I was excited, but we know that this is going to be fodder for the base from now until the end. And, and I know a million people have been saying the same thing, but this isn't a Trump versus Biden election. This is Trump versus America and what America stands for. And there are people that are voting. They do not care that this man is a felon. They don't care. And out of and you see clips of Donald Trump going after Hillary and saying how she can't run and that she should be held accountable and this and that. But when it's turned on him, it's all rigged. Like, I don't understand why you can't discern that he's talking about out of one side of his mouth that all of these people who do this should be in jail and lock her up, and then out of the other side of his mouth, well, it's rigged. So it's only rigged for you, but not for Hillary and not for Hunter Biden and not for anyone else, right? It doesn't make any sense. This guy is a reality show host. He's an actor.
He's a snake oil salesman.
Come on.
He sets
this
up.
This is not anybody intelligent.
He sets up the loss, the reason why he's going to lose before the loss.
Yeah.
He does it
because he knows.
He said, if I lose in 2016, it's rigged. But he won.
Yeah.
So it wasn't rigged anymore. If I lose in 2020, it's rigged, right? Now, here's another thing. Now, this is disturbing. Well, first of all, let's talk about how his campaign has raised $34 million since this verdict. It's a windfall for him.
Yep.
Okay, let's set that aside because we know that they're lunatics. We get it.
Little Donnie Jr. like, please help my dad.
But here's the thing. That's
rich. They're all rich, right? But they need this money.
The $34 million isn't going to even touch the amount of his legal bills, which is where all this money goes. The money they raise goes right to the PAC, and the PAC pays his legal bills.
They're so stupid.
The other thing is that online last night, I saw that apparently on that Truth Social, it's the violent threats against the jury.
Oh, we knew that was coming.
Finding out who they are and what they're going to do to them.
They're going to dox them, is what's going to happen.
It's terrifying. And we know that they do it because they went to the homes of those 2 women in Georgia who they accused of fixing the poll at one of the polling places, the young woman and her mother. They went to her door. She couldn't leave her. She couldn't even be at home for 6 months afterwards because the police didn't think it was safe for her to be there. People were coming to her door, her front door. It's very scary right now for these jurors.
And it's dangerous for this man to sit and accuse. And, Biden came out and he said, this was not a federal case. Because everyone's like, it's Biden, it's crooked democracy, the Democrats. This was a state case, and he laid it out. He laid it out in that speech. This was a state case. The jury was selected like any other jury across America. Trump's attorneys, just like in any jury across America, both sides get to vet the jury and they can say, I don't want this person there. They came to an agreement on the 12 people sitting there. They put a post up, I don't know, when the trial started, remember? And it was like what the news where the different people on the jury get their news from. And there was a lady on there who only gets her news from Truth Social. And she listened to the evidence and she still said that this man was guilty. So not everyone on that, jury is leaning left, right? There was a mix of different news sources, of some people that don't listen to news. It was a mix. And now these people and their families are going to be in jeopardy, or anyone who maybe even has a name like theirs, right? Because people are stupid, they're going to end up at the wrong house or something.
It's
outrageous.
It's an affront to our justice system.
And there better be protection, because if any one of these jurors gets hurt, like this is I would be afraid. I said,
I would never serve on that jury.
I would never serve on that jury. And one, we would go there and they would be like, get out.
Yeah.
Okay? They wouldn't even pick us for this jury. But if we, weren't shouting into a microphone all the time and we're, not as, tapped into politics as we are, and we got picked for that, I would not want to put my life or my family's life, because they do, they do the swatting thing where, they send the SWAT team out. They do all kinds of stuff. This is not fair. And part of being, an American citizen, right, is you have a jury of your peers. And if you degrade that system and make people afraid to serve on juries, what does that do to our justice system? You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
It sets a precedent. And you can't intimidate. That's a crime.
Listen.
Anyone who's posting that on Truth Social should be held with a crime.
Yeah, they will be. They'll be. Trust me. They're going to be investigating these people. They're going to knock on their door and they're going to tell them.
And what idiots are even posting shit online like that? And then imagine what's underground. But what about the underground shit?
Listen, it's all bad. And the other thing too is that when he came walking out of that courtroom that night, he looked shook. He looked like he was trembling.
He believes his lies.
But you got to remember that this is someone who, from the jump, from first getting into business, he also watched his father, do shitty things to people in real estate and skirt the law. And so this is someone who has learned that that's how you conduct yourself in business. Yeah. And listen, there's a guy on Shark Tank, a bald guy, and he was being interviewed months ago, and he was like, people do this all the time, but lie about. It was the first case that he had the conviction, what's like $400 million or $250 million, or whatever.
What's
it was.
her face?
Inflating the property. Remember this? The case that the state of New York brought against him, and he was like, everybody does that in business. Everybody does it. Like, he's been doing the things that all these rich people that skirt the law to not have to pay so many taxes. He's been doing all of that for years. He's never been held accountable. Ever. But the second he said he's running for president and ran his mouth and became he's really the dumbest person that's ever been president of the United States. And continued to run his mouth and be awful. And all they did for those 4 years that he was in office is start looking into his businesses and all of the things that he's been doing. And he's never been held accountable for these things. And I think he was very shocked, even though he's like, if they find me, it's rigged. I think he was shocked that he was found guilty of this. And I don't know if he'll get jail time. I don't know what this judge is going to do.
It's not going to be jail time.
And here's the other thing I heard, I was listening to a lawyer talk about this on a podcast, is that this sort of crime, it does happen in businesses where they say one thing on a document, but it's really for something else. And when they sit down with the state's attorney's office, the lawyer and whoever this business owner is, they look at the evidence and the lawyer's like, all right, how about $10,000 fine and a slap on the wrist or something, right? And they go fine and they plead it out and that's it. But that's not what happened here. This motherfucker's like, let's go to court.
Yeah.
Let's go to court.
He's a show off. He's a showman.
This is something that should have been pled out. Yeah. They should have never gone. And then I heard about his lawyer.
But this
lawyer is
all the media that he's getting.
Right. Well, that's kind of the point. He knows he's rolling the dice on what's the bigger benefit.
Yeah.
But his lawyer apparently was a prosecutor for years and hasn't really done a lot of defense cases, which is always what is shocking to me, is that they didn't put him on the stand. And afterwards, he's like, I would have testified. And then I saw his lawyer on CNN last night or Friday night or something. And he was saying, well, we don't have to fill in these holes. We don't have to put him on the defense stand. We don't have to, like, they weren't countering any of the documents. They weren't, it was the burden of the prosecution to show the proof. Yeah, but the defense didn't really put on a defense. And I thought to myself, every single one of his lawyers don't know what the fuck they're doing. Remember, what was that dummy's name? Habab, or whatever the fuck that idiot's name was, that woman who was like, this is an injustice. And he's like, she's not going to be on the appeals case. Remember, she was really dumb. The same thing here. Like, this guy's a big shot lawyer and yet doesn't know how to put on a defense. Who is he hiring?
Right. Well, but maybe these are guys that just do
are sycophants.
Or do a lot of plea deals. You know what I mean? That
maybe, but like, why not do that? Like, they didn't put a defense up. But here's the other part.
Who's going to take that?
The case was too strong. There was all the evidence they ever needed.
And the other thing with this guy is with the whole Stormy Daniels thing and trying to like not have this come out. Like he had said, I could shoot someone on Fifth Avenue and still get elected. So you could shoot someone on Fifth Avenue, but you can't hook up with a porn star and still get elected. You know what I mean? Like, why cover it up?
That's another thing I heard too.
It doesn't make any sense.
If he had just said, I had an affair.
Sorry. Like, everyone knows
none of this would have happened, by the way. None of this would have happened.
Yeah, everyone knows he's a cheater. Everyone knows, like, he's gone from one wife and cheated on one wife with the next wife and the next. Like, that's his MO. And he's around, Epstein and all of these other people.
Girl.
So what would you, I mean, I don't know. Like, there was, the all the comments that he made, all the stuff, like, this is the thing you're worried about? It doesn't make any sense. I
mean, listen, also, we got to remember, that was early on in the campaign when I think the grab him by the pussy tape had already come out.
Yeah, like, it
was already being painted in a certain way. So let's move on. Let's talk about something else, because earlier in the day on Thursday, there was this talk on Twitter and articles about how there was a tape of his current campaign.
Yeah.
Discussing that there was a tape out there from 2004 when he was on The Apprentice, and there was a black contestant.
Was it Omarosa?
No, it was a different. I don't know if it was Omarosa. I thought it was a black man that was the contestant.
I don't remember.
That was in the finals, and there was a tape of Trump saying in 2004, "Would America really buy it if an N-word won The Apprentice?" Okay. So the current campaign found out this tape existed, and they were discussing how they were going to spin it.
But it was, women talking about it.
Tina, we got to stop being shocked by white women or black women or anybody else that chooses a side like this. We got to stop, because they exist. We need to learn how to get everybody else to come out and fight against them. Vote. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, vote. Anyway, so that was in the morning, and in the afternoon, the verdict comes out. And I saw a great tweet that was like, could you imagine that you're on a campaign, you're running for president of the United States, and the least worst thing that happened to you during the day was that there was an N-word tape out there. Oh my God. And, I told my daughter about it. This is before the verdict. I'm like, oh my God, there's a tape of Trump saying the N-word. And she says to me, well, is it AI? And I thought, oh my God. I looked at her, I go, yeah, that's where we are. Yeah. She's 15. And then I looked and I was like, oh no, it's from 2004. There was no AI then.
Right.
But even is that going to be the spin?
That's going to be.
Is that going to be the spin? Will people go, oh, it's AI, and never even really look to see that it was from 2004? Because these people believe anything. So does it, my mom was like, this is crazy. What's going to happen? I go, it's not going to matter.
It doesn't
matter.
Well, and as we move forward, any sort of, clips, like we see it happening, there has to be something that is put on these, or the social media networks have a huge responsibility, because they can detect
every time.
They can detect videos and other things that are made from AI, and they're going to have to put something in place where if someone tries to upload something, that it automatically flags it as this video was created by AI. Because I know currently right now in Instagram, you can click on something to say if a video
AI label. Yeah, I was just going to say that. Yeah.
And the voice or you know, anything about the video is created by AI or a photo or whatever it is, but it should automatically, there should be something that automatically flags it. And I know that they can do it because with writing, there's a flag where it comes up immediately, like this is like 98% generated by AI or 50%. And I think anything that's maybe over 30% or more, something like that, 20%, I don't know, whatever the number is, needs to have a flag, a label, something so that people know like that this is generated and this is not real. But I can't imagine in the next 5 and 10 years how many celebrities and political figures or anyone in the public eye or even in regular world situations are going to have to fight against, no, that wasn't me, that I didn't do that, and try to find that this video is AI, you know what I mean? And then the onus is going to be on the victim. Right? Because we already know that there are sex tapes coming out where they take celebrities. And there was even a case, it was a high school girl where they had taken her and done these AI videos of her, the boys at the school, and like spread it all around and of her being naked, and it wasn't her, obviously, right? But her reputation and, you know, and even like the idea. I hate this AI.
I fucking hate it.
Yeah, even the idea that like, even though I know it's not my body, but everyone thinks it's my body, it's horrific.
Even the
horrific.
My son plays Fortnite, and I just had to do parental controls on there. And one of the things was, you know, he doesn't talk on Fortnite. He talks on his phone with his friends on Discord and plays Fortnite.
I don't do the Discord. Discord can be no bueno.
Well, he's just on there with his friends. Anyway, if you talk on Fortnite, you know you can play on Fortnite in the game with other people.
Yeah.
If you talk on the mic on there, they're recording your voices. Fortnite is. And they can use it for AI. And I put on there, do not, like, he doesn't use the Fortnite audio to talk.
My sons don't either.
But that's one of the things they can do, is use your voice from there, is keep it. They keep your voice. I'm telling you, all these things with the AI, it's never been good. AI is never, ever going to be good. Ever, ever, ever. It's scary as fuck, and it's not okay. And I don't understand this, like, need for wanting it to be included in everything. Why is that the thing? Even on Canva.
Yeah.
Canva, which we used to make graphics. It's like, do you want AI to be a part? No, I don't want AI to be a part of this. Leave me out of that.
I mean, I think that AI can be used in a good
Tina,
way.
we don't agree on this. You've said this many times. I'm sorry, but you know, you can't pick and choose. It's one of those evil things that's like, well, we can use it for this.
I know, but I don't think there's a way that you could get rid of it. So if you can't get rid of it, then we need to have some sort of like ethical use. And I think we need to, you know, start teaching children. I mean, maybe even in elementary school of, you know, looking out for AI. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
How about some laws? How about our Congress actually start doing some fucking work? The least effective Congress in history actually start doing some work maybe 10 years ago to regulate AI.
Right.
Like, we need that now. We need it now. Because this is not okay, what's happening.
Because you could put in anything for images. Like, and I've done it before, like, just to play around with it. And
I've never done that.
Oh, I did. Remember I did the whole Tony Soprano? I did a whole, like, just to see, and I put, I forget what it was. I was joking around with someone about Tony Soprano and hiding as, like, a professor. I don't know what. And so I did, you know, Tony Soprano as, you know, an elite professor, blah, 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 blah. And it did, like, the picture was not James Gandolfini, but it was a very close likeness to it. And then you could do a cartoon version. You could do, you know, a realistic, there's so many things that you could then say, can you do this? Can you make it like this? And they just kept changing and evolving. And some of them looked really cool. And it's wild. It's wild. And then I think about artists who before maybe would have been commissioned to make something where someone now can just go on AI and like put in ideas.
We are all being replaced.
We're all,
everything's being replaced by technology and computers, and I'm sorry that this is not okay. It's not okay to do this.
I mean, I wouldn't mind an AI person to clean my house.
Give me a break.
To do my laundry. Rosie. I'm on board for Rosie. No. And I'm on board. I mean, imagine a world, right, where everything is AI, okay? Where then the humans can just like do what they want.
It's called Wall-E.
Yeah.
You see how the humans ended up in that? Did you see, Tina?
It was no bueno.
Yeah, I mean, I was a little jealous just sitting in a chair all day, like
well,
zooming
not
around.
Sitting in a chair, but like, you know,
that's what's gonna happen. We're giving up on existence.
Art, make, bake, do find things that you enjoy. Be philosophical. I don't know.
I mean, in what universe do you think that you'll be able to like retire or exist?
Oh no, I know, no.
You know, where this all is happening now, you can relax. Like that's not going to be a thing.
It's not going to happen. No. Well, I mean, I don't know. It's going to be interesting what the class structure is going to evolve into the more that things become automated. Because, like you said, there's going to be more automation. They have it at like fast food restaurants. You know, places. Publix, you self-checkout, you know what I mean?
I hate that. I hate it.
So, like, more and more things moving to automation or self-doing of the thing than what
I can't imagine you work at Publix and you walk in one day and now where there used to be 3 aisles, there's 6 you know, you can check yourself out. I mean, those were people who had jobs.
Yeah.
That kills me. It kills me when I see self-checkout. Yeah. Look at the Target over here by us. There's like 20 self-checkouts now. Like, those were all people who had... These are people who had insurance. Yeah. They paid... They could keep a roof over their head. There are children that, you know, they have to take care of. Like, these are people that were let go so that they could put a machine... It just is... That doesn't sit well with me at all. I don't like it.
I feel like it's going to be another sort of revolution, right? Like we're at the cusp of this, just like with the Industrial Revolution and how that got rid of certain jobs, right? I mean, that was a whole explosion of change. And I think that in the next, like we're at the start of it, but within the next 10 years, I think we're going to see a lot of, there's self-driving, like Uber drivers, not going to need anymore because there'll be self-driving cars like that can come pick you up. I have a cousin who works in like transportation industry, and he told me, God, maybe 6 years ago, that they've been working on the semi-truck, the delivery trucks, full automation, no human drivers anymore. And what that's going to do to like very small middle of America towns, it's going to wipe out. That's a lot of times like that's the sole work that those people do. Is the truck driving, you know? So it's going to be interesting to see.
Well, we know that
we're going to
corporations don't give a fuck about people.
Oh, no.
So they're not going to fight. Money,
yeah. If they can save money by just having a fleet of automated cars, they'll do it.
Things like this make me glad that I'll be dead soon.
No.
You know what I mean?
We got a long time to go,
When I took my kids to the Science Museum last weekend, we got IMAX passes too. And so we saw the one they picked was because John Krasinski was the narrator and they love him from The Office. It was called Future. Adorable. It was called, yeah, he is. It's called Future Cities. And what, you know, how these cities are planning and incorporating technology, but also like more plants, more trees, to make their cities more sustainable. But watching it all, I was like, I'm so glad I won't be here when this exists.
Did you freak out?
Not that I freaked out. No, it's just all stuff to make it easier. Like, okay, so like when they build cities, it'll be levels. So like in Chicago, if you go to Chicago now, there's a bottom level that's regular traffic, and then you go up a level and it's like the street level, and then you go up another level. So that's how it is in Chicago, street level. But then on this, it's a third level of like, that's where humans exist. The parks are up there, The second level would be like public transportation, and the bottom level is like your own cars. But also they have cars flying around, like there's roads in the air. Oh, take this little flying car to your son's soccer practice. It's crazy, and I don't want anything to do with it. I don't want anything to do with it. It's like, it should be like, it'll just be like the Jetsons, and I'm like, I'm good. I'm good. Like,
I still want a Rosie.
I mean, I would love to have someone to do all of those things. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm tired of cleaning my house.
Yeah. Well, I just don't clean, so you know how it is in my house, Tina.
Your house is always clean.
Give me, what the fuck are you talking
Her
about?
house is clean. I'm
That's
looking
not
around.
true.
Her house looks beautiful.
That's not true at all.
Oh, please.
Oh my God, girl. What else? You got anything else?
I know, because I was so caught up in the.
Okay, so let me say this.
president.
Let me say something real quick. When I was at that science museum with my kids last weekend, you know, there's a lot of little kids there.
Yeah.
So the dads are like 30s, early 30s. There's this weird dad look that I'm calling alpha dads.
Oh.
Okay.
No.
So they're like the alpha males, like with their, you know, like a Harrison Butker kind of look.
Ew.
You know, with the beard, that weird
Yeah.
fucking beard. Y'all gotta stop with the beards. The young men with these, even if they're nice beards, but even the longer beards, what are you doing? What message are you sending with these beards? What are you doing? It's fucking weird, the beards, okay? Young men should not have full fucking beards. No. You should have a clean face. I don't, and because I know what it's sending. It's sending January 6th adjacent.
Oh,
That's what it's sending. That's what I see. I go, oh, January 6th. Okay? They have these nice haircuts, like the Harrison Butker haircut, right? So
God.
clean cut, you got the full beard. They're wearing tiny shorts, gay. The shorts you see at Pride on the gays. With a 5-inch inseam or a 3-inch inseam.
No, that's
They're wearing tiny shorts and they're yoked. They're like fucking all up front, up top. It's big arms, big shoulders. They're yoked. They've been in the gym, baby. I may be a dad, but I'm gonna be, you know, like yoked.
The shorts are a thing, though. The young
The
people
shorts
have
are
been
a thing.
have been doing the shorts since last year.
And
it's
they
like
have,
the 70s. It's like the
Yes.
70s style.
And they have like very clean sneakers and then always one full arm sleeve of tattoos.
Oh,
Okay.
only one.
Usually only one. There could be two, but
Oh, you got this look down.
I'm telling you, because I'm like, oh, I thought I was at the insurrection. Am I at the Capitol? Because
But why would they be in a science museum? Because
they're with their kids. Their kids. Well, you know, you gotta get. Listen, it's the same reason why like Despicable Me 4 is going to be a multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar movie because people they just want to take their kids to do something.
Yes.
Get these fucking kids out of the house. You know. Even though Despicable Me is like one of the worst fucking movies of all time. I hate it. Don't talk to me about the Minions. I can't. Even when I see the trailer, I'm like, turn it off. I can't take it. Anyway.
What?
The Despicable Me is out of my range. My kids love it. They want to go see it, and I'm like, tell your father because I'm not going to see the fucking Minions.
My kids like the Minions.
I can't. My kids love this. I can't take it. Anyway, these alpha dads are on the prowl, honey.
Ew.
And it reminded me of a tweet I saw this week that Jasmine Rogers had retweeted. It was a picture of Andrew Tate and two of his goons next to him, right? And they're dressed in these suits. You know, the suits where they come in real small in the middle and they're tight at the bottom, like ankle tight.
That's the style.
And they're wearing no socks and like these really nice like point shoes.
Yeah,
and they all have cigars and their beards and they're like they look like they just had a facial, you know. They're all very heterosexual.
Remember
metrosexual? They're very metrosexual. These dudes, right? But like they're standing in three, and their feet are all pointed out like this. It's a very calculated, posed picture. And this person had tweeted it, and Jasmine retweeted it. But the tweet was, "This is not a picture for women. Like, you're not doing this to show women that you're like. This isn't a look to like attract women." This is to impress other men. That's what the look is. Is look at me. I'm rich. I'm handsome. I'm in shape. I'm put together. There is a weird fucking thing here.
Well, this whole
very
alpha male
strange
movement is, I don't like it.
I don't either, and I don't understand it. Now listen, I'm all into like.
It's about controlling women.
The fashion of it all. You know, when you see those things of Butker, you can also look at the same reels of Travis Kelce. But because he's this lovable oaf, in my opinion, it's cute to see him in his fashion, right?
Right.
But there's a thing with these other guys, this underlying like alpha male / dad thing now that is so bizarre because I kept looking at these dads thinking, it took longer for him to get ready than his wife. Right? She's running around with her hair in this messy bun, chasing the kid, and he's over there on his phone or he's talking to another alpha dad, and they're chatting about, I don't even know what new condo they're going to buy in Fort Lauderdale. Like, who the fuck knows? Because they all have money, by the way. Like, where are they working, these guys?
I don't know.
But
maybe they got that cryptocurrency, girl.
You know what it is? You know what it might be? That picture I sent you yesterday. We'll have to put it up in our notes or in a... I was behind a car yesterday in Fort Lauderdale. It was a Tesla, so
of course.
Take what you will from that.
I mean,
and the back of the car said, "Hold on, let me open up the picture because it was." I was like,
I can't even believe
what in the
that this
fuck
is on the road.
Is this?
I showed my son, and he was, "That's funny."
By the way,
I said, "But no, it's not funny."
It says very black, like bold letters on the back of the window: "Unvaxxed sperm, $7,000 a load."
That's how they're making their money, girl.
Yeah.
They're going to the January 6th sperm depository.
Yeah. As if that's the only required, like, when you're looking at sperm, like, where did they go to college?
Yeah.
What do they do for, like, what,
yeah,
you know
what's
what
their
I mean?
IQ?
Yeah, what, you know?
Are they vaxxed?
Are they vaxxed?
Yeah, and the alpha male sperm bank must be, like, unvaxxed, you know, swole.
Yeah. Swole is one of my favorite. Swole and yolk are two of my favorite words.
Yolk.
And here, let me tell you another reason
I'm trying
why.
to think of like what else would be at the alpha male sperm bank.
I gotta tell you,
there's a checklist. College educated is off the list.
No, we don't care about
that.
No,
they don't want that.
Oh, you read a book? Get the fuck out. We don't need you. 1+1?
Yeah. Is your house?
No, get out.
Is your house decorated in MAGA?
Yeah.
Okay. Boom. That's your.
Where were you on January 6th, 2021? Yes. Are your fingerprints on Nancy Pelosi's stapler?
If they are, boom. Check.
Yeah, check.
The alpha male sperm
What's the proper
bank.
way to fly your American flag?
Oh, upside down. Check.
Do you like the Dixie Chicks?
No, check. Or the girls formerly known as the Dixie Chicks.
What's the proper place of a woman?
Barefoot in the kitchen. Check. Oh my God. Where should Hillary, Hunter Biden, and Biden be? In jail? Check.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Here's why it bothers me too. There's nothing more unattractive to me. I don't know if we feel the same way about this, but I feel like that look is so ugly.
I don't like it either.
There's something about
yeah.
He's so big. Like there's
like
some. I can't. Yeah, it really does take away from this. Maybe it's because we were a Revenge of the Nerds sort of generation, but like
and all those guys were jerks and stupid.
I was into the nerds, and so like the
meatheads were all dumb.
Yeah, they were big dummies, and so maybe I have that still in my head. But this whole thing is so unattractive to me. Yeah, I definitely have a skinny nerd vibe.
Well, and the whole like alpha male ego, I want nothing to do with. Because it's dangerous. Because these are the men that then get on their social media and say things like that stupid Kansas City chief kicker about what a woman's place is, about the nuclear family. You know, they have all of these ideas about what women should say and how they should act. And I mean, they say things like, if you're over 30, you know, watch out, there's something wrong with her. You know, if she's a single mother, watch out, there's something wrong with her. They have all of these rules about women and what kind of women you should be with and what women should do and how they should act, and I want nothing to do with that. And I worry because on these social media sites, you know, so many things pop into kids' feeds, and I wonder like how many young boys are sitting on their phones with these Andrew Tates of the world rolling into their feed, and they say things that seem kind of funny, and then you watch it for a second, and now you get something else in your feed, and the next thing you know, like, this is all you're getting. And I think that's dangerous too. Are you ready? All right, today I'm going to tell you the story of Chicago Mayor Carter Henry Harrison Sr.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
This is old-timey, girl.
Oh, I like it.
Okay, so Carter Henry Harrison won election 5 times for his time as Chicago mayor. But when certain campaign promises weren't fulfilled, it cost him his life.
Oh my God.
Woo! Woo! All right, so our story, like I said, is an old-timey one, and it takes place around October of 1893.
Wow!
Yeah. So I got a lot of my information from, believe it or not, it was like this online kids encyclopedia from like Illinois, whatever, and some other sources. And it's so old, it's hard to find like you know, a lot of stuff. So like many of our early politicians, this guy came from plantation money.
Mm.
Ew.
Yeah.
He was born on a plantation in Kentucky in 1825. And from what I read, he was homeschooled, which a lot of people were back then. It's not like today's homeschooled. And then he attended Yale. And then he earned a law degree from Transylvania College in Lexington, Kentucky in 1855. He passes the bar and he starts working in Chicago as a lawyer. So
nice.
He moves over to Chicago. His first go-round in politics was a run for Congress in 1872, which he lost. But he did serve as a commissioner in Cook County from 1874 to 1876. In 1874, he is elected to Congress. Now, in this encyclopedia, it noted that there was a scandal at the time when he was serving that centered on giving war vets benefits for injuries when they had previously been rejected. So like they had been rejected from getting these benefits, and then they were still giving them benefits, something like that, but like nothing really came of it. So that was kind of a little thing. But the other thing I read about this guy is that he was known for his flamboyant speeches in the House. So he was, you know, a great speaker, which a lot of like these old-timey guys were. So after losing re-election in Congress in 1878, he runs for mayor.
Okay.
And, you know, things never change, right? There's always these career politicians. Like, you know, he served on that commission, then he serves in Congress, and then he's like, I didn't win this election, so now I'm going to go back to try to run for a local seat.
What's
you know,
open?
like that's all like they know.
Yeah.
So, you know, this is this guy. So he won 4 more consecutive 2-year terms as mayor, beginning in 1879.
Wow.
He took his final oath of office in April 1893, where he said, "When years ago I stood before you and took the oath which fitted me for this high office, Chicago had less than 500,000 population. Today, it is the 6th city on the face of the globe, the 2nd in America in population, and the 1st city on earth in pluck, energy, and determination."
Wow.
Yeah, so he loved the city. Like everything I read, like this guy was like Chicago, Chicago, Chicago.
Yeah.
Okay. And he even referred to Chicago as his bride. Like that's how much he loved the city, right?
Yeah.
So his wiki page notes that as far as his political positions, he was a populist Dem. He didn't mind folks like drinking or gambling. They called him a copperhead. So he was someone who had sympathy for the Confederacy and wanted peace. You know what I mean? But he moved originally to Chicago because he was disgusted by slavery. But then he marries this Southern belle.
What is with these wives?
Yes, this Southern belle. And after he married her, that's when he starts talking about having more peace between the North and the South.
That is crazy. It's like Alito and Thomas.
But she was like super rich, and so then he's
well,
got all this money now.
Alito's wife bought that beach house with her inheritance.
Yeah, so it's like these rich racist women.
Yeah.
And he's just
Oh my God.
Yeah, slavery sucks, and then he's married to her. Well, maybe we can bridge the gap, you know.
These guys have no morals. Like, could you imagine a rich racist guy you fall in love with him and he wants to marry you?
No.
No. The racism
I wouldn't be able to have a conversation. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So he was also known for his role in the Haymarket Affair. And this was very briefly, it was a pivotal event in labor history. It was marked by a labor protest that turned violent, and Mayor Carter Harrison's role was controversial. So he was criticized for his handling of the situation, and that led to further tensions between the labor activists and the authorities. So, for example, he was criticized for his perceived lack of restraint and for potentially exacerbating the violence. Some critics argued that he should have taken a more peace-building approach towards the labor protesters instead of he deployed like this heavy-handed response, and that led to clashes and casualties. And some argued that his failure to communicate effectively with the protesters and address their grievances contributed to the unrest. So he kind of, as like the leader of the city, sort of blamed. So let's get into the major incident.
Okay.
So the night of the major incident, Harrison's family said that he had, quote, never looked so handsome, so full of life. Yeah. And according to various sources, Prendergast, so there was this guy, Prendergast, and he's upset because the mayor is like recently elected and he has promised Prendergast like a position.
Oh my God.
But then like doesn't follow through. So Prendergast like shows up. Okay. So on October 28th, 1893, he heads over to the mayor's house. When he arrives, the maid lets him in. Harrison was taking a nap. After the maid woke him up, he went toward the hall to greet Prendergast, who immediately started asking Harrison for the job. Like, what about this job, man? Right?
Bitch better have my money.
Allegedly, Harrison said to him, quote, I tell you, I won't do it.
Oh!
Following that, Prendergast shot him 3 times. Once in the abdomen, once under his left arm, and once through his left hand.
Oof.
Harrison reportedly said, quote, I have been shot and cannot live, and then died a few minutes later.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
What a declaration.
I know.
Thanks
it's
for
very Shakespearean.
#facts.
You know? So since this was back in the day, Harrison's coachman, right? So right, they don't want the cars, was outside. The coachman, you know, basically like that's the guy who drove him around. He hears the shots. He runs inside with his own gun and he shoots at Prendergast as he's fleeing from the house, but he misses.
Oh, God
so
damn
then
it.
Prendergast is chased down the street by a bunch of folks and a cop. He finally surrenders. He admits to the shooting, stating that he was mad about not getting the promised appointment. And because Harrison was such a well-known figure, they had to smuggle Prendergast out of the station and go to another county jail until trial was held because they were afraid like they were going to go and lynch him. So the charges, Prendergast is charged with the murder of Harrison. His lawyers tried to claim that he's insane at the time, that it was just this moment where he breaks, but you know, he showed up with a gun.
He's planning it. You know
what I mean? Yeah. So the jury, they don't buy it. Doctors testified that he knew right from wrong. There were 2 trials. In the second one, he's found guilty. So Prendergast is sentenced to death, and he was executed on July 13th, 1894. They set up the gallows in a spot that wouldn't be too visible, but 500 people showed up to witness his hanging. So some of the aftermath, tens of thousands of people attended the funeral procession for Harrison, and they followed his casket to the cemetery. PBS American Experience noted that 500,000 people watched the procession. So there were, all these people followed it, but there were people along the way who like, watched it. So it was 500,000 people with members of Italian, Polish, Scandinavian, Irish, and German communities all sending in a representative to march in the procession to the cemetery. His son, Carter Harrison Jr., ran to be Chicago mayor later on as well. And like his father, he served 5 terms.
Wow.
And then a little tiny point of interest is that Harrison was related to President William Henry Harrison. He was like far removed. I think they were like 3rd or 4th cousins or something like that. And he was also related to President Benjamin Harrison, who is the grandson of William Henry Harrison. So he's like connected to the presidency. And that's the story of the murder of Chicago Mayor Carter Harrison Sr.
Love that fucking city. Love it.
It's a good little story.
Also, I love that people were
but...
chasing him down the street.
Today,
people would be like, what's going on? They take their cameras out.
They would all be filming it.
Yeah, there goes this guy running down the street.
Oh my God. Well, and the fact that he's like, I'm shot. They've killed me.
Yeah.
You know.
I cannot live.
But
wasn't the president, remember, was it Garfield that was assassinated at the train station? I think he also was because the guy didn't come through with the job.
Yeah, the guy was upset with him. Yeah. So, and I get it, like, you're mad about it. And I'm sure people make political promises all the time.
Yeah.
But I tell you I will not do it. Well, now you pay the price.
Holy shit.
But I guess people don't think, like, they're going to take it that far, you
Yeah.
know, and that, his whole family saying, oh, he was in good spirits and he looked so good and
Oh,
he
no.
was happy.
Oh,
And the
my
other
God.
thing that he was super, super, super proud about
Oh, no.
was his role with the Chicago World Fair.
Oh.
Because I think he was like the mayor overseeing the first one and then like really wanted this
Amazing.
to be a thing.
Yeah.
And like, I saw a lot of quotes where he was talking about that fair. Like that was like.
What an incredible time to be in that city, too.
Yeah, when everything's up and coming.
Oh,
and
my gosh.
it's wild.
Amazing.
Wild. So yeah.
Well, we were, by the way, just so everybody knows,
Oh, hi.
hi, we were invited to go on a very exciting up-and-coming program. I just want you all to know that we were invited as guests. Never had guests on this program before, but we've been invited.
Oh, hi.
It's exclusive. It's an exclusive.
Because we're amazing.
Because we're amazing. And also because we know one of the hosts. I did tag him and like say, hey, we talked about this. We've been invited to go on Creek Eats.
Oh my God, I cannot wait to
Creek
do
Eats.
this.
I hope it's a pizza episode, y'all. Are there any pizza places left in Coconut Creek?
Listen,
that we
I don't
can
care
go to?
where. I don't care where. Where, when,
Yeah.
how, let's do it.
I'm excited.
Keep your cash in Creek, baby.
Keep that cash in Creek.
Keep that.
By the way,
Creek.
Councilwoman Denise Horland from Plantation, another friend of the pod,
Hi.
she was like commenting on it. She's like, this is amazing. And I was like, girl, you need to do this in Plantation. She's like, I'm already thinking about it. Like, all these cities should be doing this.
That would be so much fun.
Come on.
Oh my God, Fort Lauderdale alone has so many good little places. And the thing that I like about that Creek Eats is that they're like these small local places.
That's right.
And that's the thing that's really cool about it. It's not, you're not going to some chain.
Yeah.
You're going to these locally run businesses that we should all be, that's where we should go. And I know I've said it a million times on here, but like when I go out to eat, with my kids, even when we get pizza, like we do not do chain stuff. Like if we're going to spend our money, we try to spend it locally and there's places that we go to that like they know us because like that's where we go for certain types of food or whatever, like, and that we've been going to for years because it's important to put that money back in the community. Like these corporations don't need that money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the local mom and pop and the local restaurants and there's a new little place, a little tea house place I want to go to.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a lot of great places.
Yeah. And also it kind of encourages people to go to your city. Like, I don't know, Coconut Creek is west of me, but I don't know how often I would actually go to Coconut Creek. But if you see a restaurant that they're highlighting, why wouldn't anybody drive out there? I think it's like brilliant idea.
Yeah.
So good.
Love it.
Yeah.
All right.
So see us then on our next project.
Yes.
We almost invited ourselves. I mean, we kind of like. But
who wouldn't? Who wouldn't want this on a show? Come on.
Creek Eats.
Creek Eats.
Of course, I was like, Creek Eats, bitch. Like, that's what my clip was like. I gotta control, this is professional. You gotta be on your
and it's
best
family friendly.
That's
so
right. So no F words at all.
No bombing.
No F words. No, I promise. Well, I almost. See the Catholic? Do you see? They beat it into me. It's in my blood. I'm never getting away from it.
Oh my God.
It's a curse, really.
Oh wait, did you hear about the priest that bit the lady?
He was here. It was in Florida. I think it was in Palm Beach.
Like, because she crumbled up the communion or something.
I think she went to go for a communion wafer, and he bit her hand.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Y'all need to what's your hiring practices over there? Monster.com?
Oh.
What's happening? What are you doing?
Yeah, you guys gotta chill out, man.
Oh, God.
All right, well, that's a good note to end on.
Fantastic.